to them and restore our environment. There's just one little catch. You're with us or against us, and if you're against us, we're going to eliminate you. So there's no freedom of choice here, folks. There definitely won't be any freedom of speech if it has to do anything in regards against them. So you haven't seen anything as much as bad as the New World Order is. This alien agenda that's waiting in the wings behind them to take over power from them, led by Al Gore and Hillary Clinton and others, it's 100 times worse than what we've seen with the New World Order. So we're not going to get any better getting rid of Bush and Cheney and all these people. It's going to get much, much worse. The time is coming when believers of the Most High will no longer be safe from the alien and demon and dominated people around them. People who do not love the Lord are prime candidates to be soul scalped and possessed. So these alien demonic beings can inhabit a human body. And right now, many people around the world are being clobbered by them. Just as I was writing my article this morning called The Invasion, that's exactly what's been going on. And I've been getting emails from people all over the world, and so I knew something was up. I knew much more, something much more sinister and dominant was happening. And finally, the Lord gave me a word about it this morning that I had just read. And so obviously this war, this silent invasion, this covert war against humanity is becoming more and more and more frequent. It's becoming more prevalent today. And it's going to get to the point where the Lord's believers aren't going to be safe living in cities. Every day, more and more humans around the world are becoming possessed and even soul scalped. And the Lord is going to allow even His own people to become soul scalped and possessed as well. And you might ask, why would He allow His own people to? And it's because many of those who call Him by His name are sitting happily in errors and delusions, deceiving themselves because they think they are in the truth when they're not. They have accepted deceptions and lies because they don't seek the Lord for His truth and His truth in all things. He has warned these people enough. Now they will suffer from their own actions. And the only way out of being possessed by these aliens and demonic freaks is for them to repent and seek Him for forgiveness. Keep orgone with you, folks. It repels the evil people around you. See my website at tearingdownstrongholds.com or orgoneblasters.com. I've received many emails over the past few weeks from people who have neighbors moving out simply because they planted orgone around their homes, or just being plain stared at in public. Because people who have been possessed or soul scalped, anyone who's evil has the evil entity in them recognizes the positive energy of orgone. And so they don't want a thing to do with people who have orgone. And so I've been saying it all along, especially for the past year or so. Orgone is a weapon the Lord has given us in these last days to do exploits with. And so we need to be using it. We need to be planting our towns and our homes. And if you leave your house, carry a mini orgone in your pocket or wear an orgone pendant. Learn how to make it yourself. I have the instructions on my website. Because this is one thing that truly repels evil, folks. The silent invasion is underway and in full force. So be on guard. Make sure you are walking with the Most High and have your spirit strengthened in Him. Recognize what you are dealing with and when, especially if you work in a government or have to deal with high-ranking military officials. Most of us aren't even fully human anymore. The next step in the threefold plan is for them to bring it out overtly and start flying over and making their presence known to mankind. More and more sightings will be seen until eventually they're just going to smother us with hundreds, maybe even thousands, maybe even millions of their UFOs in an all-out invasion and literal takeover of Earth. When this happens, it's time to head to the hills, folks, if not sooner. Do as the Lord leads you. They are already here by the millions implementing Phase 1, which is their silent invasion. And when Phase 2 starts, you can stick a fork in Earth because it's done. And when Phase 2 starts, welcome to the last half of the tribulation period. They're coming to eliminate the Lord's people and those that resist them or can't be ruled or dominated by them. It's going to be an all-out assault on Christians and those who refuse to bow to their presence here. And that is why the Lord is leading His people to the mountains. And so now it's a time to prepare, folks. It's not when if this happens, but when. There is a silent invasion going on, and you've been warned. Guard yourselves, protect yourselves, and seek the Most High for where He wants you to do or where He wants you to go. He has given us time to prepare, which means it probably won't get really bad until 2007 or 2008. Usually when He tells us to prepare for something, He gives us a period of time to prepare because the time will come when there's no longer time to prepare. You better be ready and hidden somewhere. Listen to Him where He leads and guides you. Ask Him to lead and guide your thoughts. Learn how He leads or speaks to your heart. Learn to recognize His voice and leading, and ask Him to teach you how. I know there's a lot of people that say, well, how do you hear the Lord's voice? How do you recognize when the Lord's speaking to you? Ask Him to teach you how. How to know. Like I've said, we have time to prepare. If you are in the cities, start planning to get out of them. Try to become more self-reliant and less reliant on mainstream society. Stock up on food and water and other things you will need if you have to live in the woods for a while. We have more wars coming, famines, plagues, civil unrest, natural disasters, and that's just the beginning, folks. We are heading into the days of the tribulation, so be prepared and ready to listen to Yahweh and what He leads you to do. It's not going to get any better. We're not going to go to a pre-911 type world where we could actually sit and most people were planning their futures and worried about their retirement funds and where their kids were going to go to college. It's time to get that mindset out of your heads, folks. We're not going to have a future on this earth. There's so many things happening now that the only thing you need to be listening to and planning and preparing for is the times that are coming ahead. And now more than ever, seeking the Lord, asking Him to reveal to you how to hear Him, so that you can learn how to hear His voice, or ask Him to keep just leading and directing your thoughts. Because when He does that, He'll just nag, and you'll know it's Him. You know you're not going to get some of His peace until you do what He tells you to do. And so there's just various ways He works. He'll lead you to people, have someone say something to you, or He'll lead you to read something. He never always works in just one particular way. He works in many different ways. And so this is definitely a year to prepare. And, He had told me that on January 1st, and it hasn't changed. We have time to prepare. And that doesn't mean we're always going to have everything we want easily accessible to us to prepare. So don't wait until October, November, and December to prepare for the next year. Start doing it now. Start putting a little bit back. Those of you who are very limited income,